everything is honey, and that's quite alright with me.
Winnie the Pooh was the creation of writer Alan Alexander Milne and illustrator Ernest Howard Shepard, and he first appeared in the 1920s. His copyright has now expired and is in the public domain, which basically means he's been thrown to the wolves. This movie's opening sequence is by far the best thing about it. It brings to mind the opening of the 1970s Watership Down movie. We're told how Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh's human friend, left him. Winnie and his friends faced starvation and were forced to eat Eeyore, or they just could have been sick of his moaning. They then grew up and turned feral. Some years later, Robin and his soon-to-be wife return to the forest, where they come across Piglet. He proceeds to murder Robin's girlfriend, before Robin himself is set upon by his long-lost childhood friend. If the movie had continued like this, it could have been great. A story in which Winnie the Pooh and his friends turned feral could have produced a movie which was a dark and thought-provoking voyage into the loss of innocence and the yearning for a long-gone childhood. Or it could have been an outrageous knockabout black comedy. This movie is neither, because for most of it, Christopher Robin is more or less forgotten. Instead, we centre on a remote house where a bunch of girls straight out of Friday the 13th turn up.
But you're deeper in the woods. You think you're doing alright.
And it isn't long before you realise the whole Winnie the Pooh theme is just a gimmick, because this is basically just a slasher movie. Not only that, it's not even a good slasher movie. The girls are the worst kind of dim-wit teenagers. You never feel for any of them. The kills are not even effective. They're completely over the top and therefore impossible to take seriously. And then there's Winnie the Pooh himself. You never honestly feel that these characters are Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. They're just two anonymous men in masks that happen to look like kids' cartoon characters who exist purely to go around killing teenage girls. They might as well just have been Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Neither of them display any kind of emotion whatsoever, because the masks are just stuck in one facial expression. And it's no good blaming this on a low budget, because as far back as the 70s, a TV series on a shoestring budget had the sense to realise that masks displaying the actor's eyes and mouth meant that emotion could be achieved. It doesn't seem like any emotion was intended here. Winnie the Pooh is set upon by the stock, dim-wit working-class blokes who seem to inhabit a lot of these kinds of slasher movies.
He wears gold-blimey trousers and he lives in the council flat.
And the ending involving Christopher Robin killing Winnie the Pooh just comes across as an afterthought. This could have been a wild subversion of a childhood character, but the movie never actually attempts to do anything with the source material. Every scene seems to be long drawn out to the point of tedium. A lot of it is so dark it's often impossible to see what's actually going on. It's just yet another uninteresting slasher movie with a sales gimmick thrown in. And the sad thing is, in this day and age, when filmmakers completely out of ideas are more and more resorting to gimmicks, I wasn't even in the least bit surprised to find out a film like this existed.
Winnie the Pooh.